Godwin Frank is
Yeah.
first speaker.
Yeah.
And second, there is little change. Anish Digre. Anish, how do I pronounce your second name? Is it Dighe?
Dighe, Dighe. Dighe, yeah.
He'll be going second, and then third is Nasri. It follows like that.
Yeah. So welcome to the final day of our decision-making presentation. And it's one of the most important skill, both for leadership or from a workplace skill, as well as for personal life. And we've been a lot of insights in terms of improving decision making. And as you gather this knowledge, it would be nice to visualize yourself walking into the future and these learnings turning into actual application, and see yourself as a better decision maker, wiser, more mature, having a little higher confidence, leading to greater results in life. Yeah. So welcome to day 4. And Santosh, over to you for the first speaker.
Thank you, Manoj, and welcome all. This is the, I think, fourth presentation day, fourth day we had scheduled, and probably as a group presentation, today is the last day. And most of them have presented, and we invite our first speaker is Godwin Frank from Chennai. Over to you, Godwin.
Yeah. Santosh, could you please acknowledge if you have my screen?
Yes. It's visible and you're audible.
Yeah. So good evening, Manoj, Santosh, and everyone. So it's been around, almost 10 years since I had my last presentation in front of Manoj and my fellow batchmates, from groups. Here is my take on, how good or bad one gets to decide based on the situations or circumstances. What are the factors that lead one to make poor decisions? So I'll take you through some of the slides that I've prepared, and I've categorized into 3 basically. So these 3 categories are emotions, and as we go on we have other categories of or factors that impacts our decision making. The other is the self-doubt, and the final one is the ego based decisions, how it has impacted our quality of decisions. Let me take you through one by one. So under overwhelming emotions, the one that tops the chart according to me is that depression, or what you call as anxiety levels or stress factors. These are some of the names of what you call under the category of depression, that it impacts your decision making skills. The other is under emotions we have fear. The fear is basically of the failure, or predominantly the untoward consequence that you don't wish to have, that really impacts your decision making, or it even stops you from making some crucial decisions, or it wants you to do nothing. The fear of failure wants you to do nothing at the very moment where you're required to make some key decisions. Yes. And the other emotion, or a part of emotion, is the excitement levels, where you tend to make decisions that is not required for the hour, or that doesn't require any moment that really wants you to make such a poor decision. And the final one is the anger, which
I'm going to slide view.
Sorry, am I audible?
PPT, can you go into a slide mode?
Yeah.
We cannot see your PPT.
Okay. So sharing once again.
Yeah.
Okay. So the emotions I've classified or listed down 4 areas where you can see depression, fear of failure, excitement, and anger. So detailing each a bit more. So on the decision, on the depression part, it really impacts one's decision making ability, and it also influences the quality of the decisions that you take in crucial times. Needless to say, it really influences one to take harmful or fatal decisions to self or the others. There are severe consequences of this depression that wants you to act in a particular way that you really want to, uh, maybe suicidal thoughts, or committing a very sinful act. What you see in the day-to-day news events, or in the social media. What it does, it really alters the quality of your life, and also the others for the rest of the time period. So I would say depression, or the anxiety levels, or the stress levels, really impairs your decision making ability, and it leads to take poor or pathetic decisions. Yeah. And the other is the fear of failure, which would really influence, as I said, to do nothing. I'm just quoting one saying from a renowned scientist, Thomas Alva Edison, who has failed 10,000 times before he developed a fully functional incandescent lamp. So when asked, he said that, no, are you not tired of failing 10,000 times? He denied respectfully and said that, no, I just found that I failed 10,000 times before making way for success. So he wasn't afraid of failure. He just found that there are many ways to fail, and this is the attitude, or this is the one approach that we need to commit to ourselves. Come what may, let us fail, but not until I lose hope. So this is where I see that the fear of failure really impacts the quality of one's decision making. And the other part is the excitement levels, where I would like to share one of my personal experience, where it really influenced me to take one of the unwanted or untoward decisions in with regards to buying a product. So I wanted a particular product which is a little bit expensive, so I chose to buy a used one. So what I did was I spread the word around to my friends, to my colleagues, and to my relative circle also. Hey, that I'm going to buy this product. And if you have a information on if I could get at a subsidized cost, then came my uncle, who was very influential in the family, and he was very elder, and he was working with the police department. So I thought, okay, so he's a trustworthy source. Let me make a call. Let me make a decision to refer to his contact and all that. So this guy came in, and under the pretentious impression of a wholesaler of a household products. What he offered was a list of products. He shared details of all the products that he had, and he was willing to sell them at a very subsidized cost, as a throwaway price. I was kind of allured. I was kind of eluded by his words. I was kind of tempted by his selling techniques, and all this happened way back, like 15, 18 years ago. So I was really excited to buy this product, but not just one, but many from the lot that he suggested. So while making some transactions in few thousands, I got to have a doubt that, okay, this could be a scam, because I saw some of his WhatsApp domain profile pictures, which kind of set some suspicions in my mind. And then I alarmed, and then I raised an alarm with my uncle and said that, uncle, did you verify the credentials of the seller? He seems to be kind of a scammer. And then when he checked out all the contacts, and he was like even scammed himself, that he didn't know. So what happened is that I ended up losing like few thousands, and my uncle ended up losing few lakhs of rupees on a the want of buying some products at a subsidized cost. So this is where I would like to quote the word excitement, where I was really excited to buy this product, and I did have a 360 kind of approach, or 360-degree kind of view, that I had to take caution, that I had to take cautious steps before buying something expensive from this guy. So what happened is, it really influenced me to take a untoward and impulsive decision to buy a product that really not existed physically. So I would say that this excitement level of mine has influenced me to take a very bad buying decision. Yeah. And the other is the anger part of an emotion, where I find that it really impairs the judgment of certain people. And ones who are very angry, they tend to be defensive and they tend to blame others for the consequences if there are otherwise. I just would like to quote one incident which happened in the US. It's a crime actually. So this is where, out of a road rage incident, two fathers, that is middle-aged men, resorted to violence. They exchanged gunshots and they wanted to hurt each other's kids, which was uncalled for. Okay. So had this road rage had not happened, if they chose to, resolve this conflict over verbally, if they chose to not to take their guns out, if they chose to not hurt others' kids in retribution, act of retribution, this untoward incident would not have happened. So I believe that anger is one momentary emotion that if you don't manage it, it really inflicts kind of a deadly decision making, which could have been avoided otherwise. Yes. So moving on, we have something called as a self-doubt. I would like to symbolize or quote this particular movie called Santosh Subramaniam, which was released in 2008, a Tamil movie. This is where Jayam Ravi, the protagonist, will ask for, Dad, when will you just let me be me? When will you just let me take my own decisions? What happens is that, so it is very imperative, or it showcases a typical traditional Indian upbringing where our parents hold our kids hand close together. They decide whatever their kids want to do themselves, not up to a kind of a 15 or a teenage, or they tend to take decisions on their behalf even until they reach their mid 30s or mid 40s. It really happens in our Indian lifestyle, right? So what happens is, the kids, when they grow, they kind of tend to have this self-doubt. So I would attribute there are two factors that induce self-doubt. One is the parental pressure or the influence, and the other is the peer pressure or the pressure from friends and colleagues to take some impulsive decisions, to decide their career, to decide their life partners. They heavily rely on every decisions on their friends, on their colleagues, if not from their parents. So what happens is, they have some kind of a self-doubt, not taking responsibility to take decisions for their own welfare. Okay. And finally, we have the ego. So where people are influenced, they compare with the others, they compare with their rivals at work, at in the family circle. What they intend to do is take some incorrect buying or selling decisions based on what they see. This really, I can quote something from my personal experience too. I have a passion for riding. I take my bike out every 3 months or 6 months once. I take a day off, or a couple of days off, and go to a place on my bike. A friend, okay, not so close friend of mine, he used to first time when he saw that with me on my bike, he used to say, no, why do you really deserve a bike at all? Why do you tend to ride bikes? Why do you tend to buy super bikes and all that? Is it not required? Okay. And I got to know that some 2 or 3 months later from my other friend that this guy also has bought a bike, and he does nothing with the bike, and he says that he literally said, quoting him, that hey Frank, this guy also has bought a similar super bike, and he says that he literally said that even if Frank could afford to buy this bike, why cannot I buy this very bike? And the other 6 months is what something was surprisingly happened. I saw this very bike, the same bike that my friend owns right now, in OLX page. He is willing to sell that off. Okay, so even my friends ridiculed that he knows why he bought the bike for. He really compares everything with you, and he has his ego. I know, copying others, or he can't really handle people, other people buying certain stuff, and he does basically things, only on ego basis. So this is something that I would like to quote, that certain people are influenced by the others, their contacts, their acquaintances, or their relatives, and they don't really evaluate whether they really need it, whether they could really afford it, whether it is required for their future, taken into their consideration. They just go with the flow of feeling called, or ego based decisions. everybody. So this is what I think that, top 3 reasons, why people make certain poor decisions or improper or uncalled for decisions. Yes. So these are some of my takeaways, some of my insights that I would like to share with you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Manoj. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
So emotions, and especially overwhelming emotion, both plus and minus. And he spoke about scam, and I was just listening to a new scam just before we started. Digital arrest, some 3.8 crores lost.
Yes.
Most of the scamsters, either they will scare you saying that you have done under your Aadhaar name something bad has happened, and because you're scared and your emotions are high, things goes on a downhill, or they will give you that you have won a new car, you have won this new trip to Bali, or something on the positive side. So either way, either the emotion has to be on the left side, which is extremely negative, so you are scared, or very happy, and we don't then focus on the critical thinking, right? Am I being scammed, or am I, we lower that because emotions are on the higher side. So emotional influence, the role of ego and self-doubt, 3 very critical factors that we need to address. And I think especially when it comes to emotions and ego, I think most of us can fall prey to that, right? It's decision making, and very important decision. Sometimes just giving some space so that emotion settles down would be a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you, Frank, and over to the next speaker.
Thank you, and thank you, Godwin, for the presentation, and invite Nazreen as second presenter.
Thank you.
Nazreen, are you there?
Hi, Sunita.
Yes, Santosh. Yeah.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Over to you, Nazreen.
Are you getting?
No. Yes, Nazreen, we can see the screen.
Good evening, Manoj. Good evening,
I'll go
everyone.
into a slide, presentation view now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good evening, everyone. Finally, I took a decision on decision making. Seems it's like a little bit special to me when compared to other presentation, because every presentation when we start, it starts, but this one is like when we decide, it's already started. So I felt really, when thinking about this topic, it has a very connection and it resonates to me very well. There are in nature neither rewards nor punishments. There are consequences only. Every decision we make has consequences, either big or small. The way we choose in our lives helps us to decide better how we live our lives and the direction we take. Either the decision is big or small. Every day when we start, like in the morning, our decision also starts along with us. Like the moment when we wake up, all the decision is starting from morning to night. So for example, choosing the right dress for the office work, to a big decision like whether we have to invest in a business venture or something like that. So decisions is a part of life that starts from morning to night, week, days, throughout the life. It's a journey. Why decision making matters? So I have listed a few points here. Like it helps to build confidence. For example, whenever we take a good decision, like a very reasonable decision, and after that, when we see it pays off well, then we feel a very good sense of good trust in ourselves that we can able to make decision, we can able to make the right judgment despite the circumstances and other disturbances. So it creates a confidence in us. So for that, decision making is definitely matters. Then resolve conflicts. Conflicting, like any other, if any conflict is there must be a resolution is there. So we cannot resolve without any decision. Once you make a decision, then only we can we can resolve it. Especially if there is a conflict between the group members or a team or a family members, a decision is made, a resolution has to be made. So resolve conflict is matters like in decision making. Achieve goals. By having a clear set of decision making process that enables to map out the necessary details to make your goals turn into reality. Without having the proper steps or a decision, we cannot achieve a goal. In short, I can say like, if there is no decision, there cannot be no goals. So decision matters when we want to achieve our goals. Managing risk. So this is one of the factor that I was like attracted to, because we have to weigh the potential risk before taking a decision or the choice, anything we want to proceed. Without managing the risk, we cannot take the decision. So decision matters in managing risk. It helps to downsize and increases the chances of success. To move forward in life, definitely we have to have a decision, because simply we cannot be stuck in a position and keep on looping. Sometimes we tend to do that, but still it helps to prevent us from moving forward. So for this, decision making is definitely matters. Reasons for bad decision making. Internal factors, biases. Biases is like confirmations in our mind, in our internal world. I have split into internal and external, like within ourselves and from outside world, like internal reality and outer reality. So biases is like a systematic error or a mental shortcuts. We always seek to confirm in outside what we believe inside. So biases is like, I crossed some years early, but I don't know when I was able to start the presentation and I'm taking this topic biases, just some past incidents just crossed in my head, like how I crossed that biases state without knowing. When I was trying to join my college, like I opted for my bachelor degree, BSc Physics. My first option, second is computer science, but I like that research type physics. So when I try to do that, I have so many biases, like it's a research type. Even if we go for a BSc, then we have to do next. Then it goes somewhere to like scientific base, much theoretical, even like there won't be any guidance. So mostly it's in my head than in reality. Then based on that, when I enquired about it, I got the same feedback, like we can do it, but in long run, you can become like a teacher or like something in that, not or a research point of view. So somewhere like it matches what exactly I thought and what exactly I received from the outside world. So it's my experience, like when I cross this topic, biases is like I got this experience. Emotional influence. Emotional influence is like it's a part of human. I just crossed a word like strong decisions and strong emotions and skilled decisions rarely go together. I really like this statement. And it was true. I don't know, in my life, it's true. Like strong decisions, sometimes it go, but it's rarely it will go. It won't go for long. So emotional influence is like for the past 10 years, when I say like my emotional journey, I'm much better when compared to before. There is a lot of transformation when compared to when I deal with people, when I interpret the information, when others how speak, everything, I had a drastic change. Like before, I used to think like why these people are not at all emotional, those before 10 years. But now I'm thinking like why people are very emotional. So completely, I have a drastic change in that. I do have emotions still, but there is a spectrum. I can able to travel from the down to the center. Still, I have a lot to learn and I have to go one by one. Next, ego. ego is like a false sense of self-worth and self-doubt and self-esteem. If it's not an unbalanced, then it creates a ego. If it is a balanced, then the ego is very healthy. Whenever I realize like there are people really self-esteem people, I cannot see them as egoistic people. But if the self-esteem is low, then the ego pops up. External factors, social and cultural norms, peer pressure. Most of the things we used to go for many functions, everything we have to buy, everything we have to accept the environment, everything we have to do based on the social cultures and peer pressures. Overconfidence is like just for the sake of only fame and power and for people pleasing, we have to, some people do, or we have to take bad decisions like overconfidence. So these are the reasons for the bad decisions, I believe. This is ways to improve decision making. Internal factors, practice self-compassion, reframe your perspective, let go of what you cannot change, take action and make amends, embrace growth and change. External factors, practice mindfulness, conduct research, seek experts, develop a systematic approach, not rushing the process, communicate decisions effectively. I believe, like, I was attracted to the statement, like, every choice you make makes you. Have you ever seen a ball or something thrown in a pond or droplets on a bucket, like it's a full of bucket, like after sometimes it starts to overflow. So every choices you make has the consequences. Like I said in the first slide, every choice we make has a consequence, and the consequences we live is directly related to the choices we make earlier, either yesterday or before or day before, years or decades, everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just unshare. Yeah, thank you, Nazreen. And I'm listening to you after a long time.
Yeah.
Like just
Thank you.
like I said, after 10 years. And even Nazreen, I remember her physical presentations. Yeah. Nice to
Thank you,
hear.
Manoj.
Yeah, yeah. So I think there was a nice reinforcement in terms of emotional influences. So one of the word that can be emotion driven or reaction driven. Sometimes emotions are just reactions, right? And biases and ego driven. So how do we take decision? Emotion driven, reaction driven, ego driven, or peer pressure driven, or other people's pressure driven, right? And going to the other side, uh, and that would be, and she did mention self-compassion and purpose-driven, value-driven, vision-driven, compassion-driven. Yeah, emotions can come up and down, can go up and down, and but what can probably help you stay uh, aligned to your values, your purpose? Mindfulness, compassion, every choice you make makes you. Yeah. So it's nice to reflect. Am I ego driven? Am I taking this? Am I continuing with this conflict just out of ego? Right? She in the first slide she mentioned about resolving conflict and achieving goals, building confidence. Yeah, some very wonderful points to reflect on. And
Thank
if
you,
you can,
Manoj.
yeah, thank you, Nazreen, and um, I think a deep reflection would be nice, and even like in the last session I was speaking, some kind of a process would be nice, which can keep the biases and the ego outside. And research has such a process. Those of you who have done PhD or has done some kind of a research, it has a process to keep the biases out, right? You come up with the hypothesis, you do your research, and then you come up with the answer. And it's very objective way to come out with your research finding and then publish it. So research has a process to deal with all these kind of emotional influences. So similarly, in our day-to-day life, we can figure out a process that can help us keep the ego aside, emotion aside, and take decision objectively, use our intelligence, and take decision according to our purpose and vision. Yeah. I think the last quote was very nice. Every choice you make makes you. Excellent, Nazreen. I'm very happy to listen to you after a long time.
Thank you.
Yes, Santosh.
Thank you, Nazreen, for that awesome presentation. And we have now our dear Madhavi from Hyderabad. Madhavi, over to you.
Thank you, Santosh. One second. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my knowledge about the decision making. Finally, I've decided, I took a decision to do this, though I took a second chance from Santosh that I'll be doing on Wednesday. So, according to me, okay, decision. Definition, if we go into it, is making a choice, but yes, decision is about making a choice. Whatever the options we have, we are going to make a choice from that. And not only making a choice, I think it is taking a charge of whatever the choice we are making. It's a kind of choice plus charge, which makes the decision. So why we need to make a decision? So I just want to compare um, our life with the river. So, if we compare our life with the river, the decision, whatever we are making, it acts as a steer in the boat. So, whatever the tides which comes in our life, our own decision make us to move forward towards our destination. Even though we get so many tides or like whatever the struggles we get in our life, our own decisions make us to move forward with the confidence, and it helps us to move with the resilience without stopping in between. Decision making is very, very important. It may be the small or big, but it plays a crucial role in our life, and it helps us to move forward towards what we value and what is our goal. It helps us to lead a constructive living where we are progressive in our life instead of not taking decision and being stagnant. I think taking a decision and moving forward is very, very important. And it is going, decision making help us to improve in the emotional well-being. And yes, it is going to make us to do the right things, and also it also make us to do the things in a right way. So like it enhances the efficiency and effectiveness, and I already said it helps to build the confidence and resilience in us. So reasons for bad decisions. So the picture which I've kept is kind of weeds. So like Manoj sir many times he uses that, Robin Sharma says that we need to remove the weeds and make it as a garden in our mind. So I think these are some reasons which acts as a weed in our life when we are taking the decisions. So one is the clarity, when we don't have the clarity. So if we are not clear what exactly we want in our life, we may end up taking the bad decisions. And I have seen many people in my life, especially our generation, people have gone through this a lot because um, so much of confusion about the future, which made them to get into engineering or some kind of degrees. We ended up thinking like, what is that we are doing in our life? So I've seen many people because of this no clarity, they ended up taking the bad decisions. And the other thing is a closed attitude. There are certain kind of people who build their own cocoon and they stay in that only. And uh, we don't even realize on this kind of closed attitude, people don't even realize that change is constant. So that things are changing, but these people will never accept that, and they take the decisions which they think it's correct, but maybe practically it is not going to happen outside. So sometimes closed attitude also may be the reason for bad decision making. And over relying on other persons is something very important. This I personally gone through when I was a student, when I was in my 20s. I was over relying on my near and dear people to take a decision. So I was not that confident enough to take my own decision, what I want in my life. Uh, I was waiting for others to take a decision for me. Um, it's my parents only, but I was like relying on them. That also, I think it is something which is a main cause for bad decisions. And sometimes external factors, external influences, okay, they are doing like this, they are doing like this, okay, I need to do this. So based on that, I'll take a decision. So that is also one of the reason. And people go for the short term things for enjoyment, or they short for short term they think only about the short term and they take a decision. But that short term decisions, whatever we take, it is going to lead to different negative consequences. So people ignore these future consequences when they are taking the decision. They don't think in the long term, only short term they think, and they take the decisions which may impact their life in a long way. And the other thing is the failure to consider the alternatives. Perfect choice is a myth. I consider perfect choice is a myth. But some people, they make a choice and they stick to it, even though it is not working out. They'll just hope, they'll be optimistic that something goes well because they have chosen the right thing, and they stick to it. But practically, it will not work. So if we are not considering the alternatives, then not, that is also going to lead the bad decisions. So the ways to improve decision making is, I personally gone through this, is the reflection. Um, for the I have worked on three major decisions which failed in my life. I just looked into what made me to take the bad decisions. I've just reflected on that, and I found that like pattern for the three decisions is same. Only one factor was responsible for me. Because of that factor, I made that kind of decisions. And I think reflection is the one of the thing we need to work upon when we are taking the decisions. It may be the, we can look for the pattern for the decisions which went well, we became successful. So what was the pattern when we are taking that decisions, and what were the patterns for the that decisions is something we need to look upon. And learning, unlearning, and relearning from whatever the decisions we have took is going to help us for the future to improve our decision making. And taking guidance is also one of the major thing. I think people who have the experience or who are good at, it's better to go and discuss with them. And accountability, instead of getting into the blame game, I think whatever the decisions we are making, we should take the ownership of that. So that is, practicing accountability is going to help us to improve our life. So decision making is an art. I think embrace the decision making process. The outcome may be the success, or it may be the failure. Instead of taking it as a failure, uh, it's better to make it as a learning, and we can empower ourselves to create a masterpiece by learning from every shade and line along the way. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much.
That was the last slide was an excellent way to summarize.
Thank you, sir.
Creating a masterpiece from every shade and line. Anyone would like to share any learnings?
Sir, even I felt the same. Like when she concluded it, it was perfect. Like you take charge. She ended it with like taking charge. And then you said that it is like a masterpiece. So that was really very nice. Thank you, Madhvi. Seeing you after a very long time.
Yeah.
Nice to see you. I think one of the good thing that I'm experiencing personally is to see you.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, it's just the name, many of you don't come on the video.
Yes, sir.
Anyone remembers any points from bad ways, bad reasons why we take bad, reasons why we take bad decision by Madhavi's presentation?
Yeah, one of the thing I like Madhavi is what she said. Once we take a decision and we know it is bad, we continue to stick with it. Actually, we should discard it and take a better decision from there. It's not like because you've taken decision, you stick to it. And like she said, learn, unlearn, relearn. We need to do that on a continuous basis. That is one thing I really liked. And of course, the concluding quote was majestic. Yeah.
The other one I remember is over relying on others, and she explained on that. And in her 20s, much younger ages, she used to rely on somebody else for taking decisions for her. And that is something that many people do, irrespective of the age. And that's a good point to learn from.
Yeah.
Thanks, Madhavi. Seeing you after a long, long time, I think. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Manoj and Madhavi. The statement, the narrative, you being the masterpiece created by the very master is a masterstroke.
Thank you, Nagi sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So no clarity, closed attitude, over-reliance on external factors. For me, it was over-reliance on internal factors. That is, I would not consult others. I would be like totally closed mind in consulting others. So I was over-relying on myself. And then I had to train myself to consult others, listen to others. So some people are over-relying on self, or some people are over-relying on others, right? Ignoring future consequences, failure to consider alternatives, and reflecting and identifying some of these patterns, learning, unlearning.
That is also one kind of ego, isn't it, Manoj? Not asking for help from others,
Yes.
over relying on oneself.
It could come from overconfidence, or it could come from fear of being influenced by others. Because people who are very sensitive about autonomy, that don't control me, right? Don't control me. They tend to not take, because they have this fear that others will take over, control me, micromanage me. So their need is coming from autonomy. For some people, that's very strong need. And for some people, it's ego, that I know everything. And so there could be various factors. But collaborative decision making is, relying on yourself, relying on the wisdom around you, taking a collaborative decision in family. So even family decision, even things that impact my family, I wouldn't consult my family, right? I take the decision. And so over the years, I have to work on myself that towards collaborative decision making, how to sit together, work, and get the best ideas and let the best decision emerge, right? Let the best decision emerge. There are very few decisions that only affects us at workplace and in life. There are people around us, and that's a collaborative decision making. Yeah. So we need to check whether it's ego or whether it is biases. We need to check and identify those patterns, and as Madhavi put it, learn, unlearn, and relearn, and reflect, and overcome those patterns, and create masterpiece of our life and of the where we are. If you are in an organization, creating a masterpiece of the organization as well. Yeah. We thank you, and Madhavi, excellent, nice to listen to you. And yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Next
Thank you, Madhavi. Our next speaker, Salma, are you okay to present now? Because Rahul is free only after 8 o'clock.
Yeah, it is okay with me.
Please go ahead. Over to you.
Yeah, just a moment. But I have some problem in my laptop, so I couldn't present it. Will that be okay?
You want me to share? Would you like to share the PPT with me?
Yeah, fine. I'll share with you in a minute.
Just put it in WhatsApp. I'll download.
One of the, I think everyone would be at least a little more self-aware when you are taking a decision. And earlier we may not be thinking about that much because of listening to presentations, day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4, right? And that itself is a kind of a reflection that if we are aware that I'm going to take a decision and this decision matters, and just wondering how am I taking this decision, what factors are influencing me, even that is an achievement, because sometimes decision making completely goes into the background, right? We are not even aware that we are going through a decision making process. So as she shares, Salma shares, Madhavi's one point she made was that it improves well-being, emotional well-being. Decision making improves emotional well-being. Can anyone say how decision making improves emotional well-being? How decision making improves emotional well-being?
So I think, sir, when you make a decision, and if you feel that your decision is, if it goes correct, it becomes right, your confidence automatically increases. You feel good about yourself.
Yeah. One is getting your decision right and then feeling good. Any other way decision making improves emotional well-being?
We trust ourselves.
We trust ourselves. Or sometimes emotional upheaval or tsunami, emotional tsunami, because of being indecisive.
Sir, like what you taught us, the dissonance theory, there is no disturbance within, and you know that you're going on the right track. So there is no incongruence inside. You feel what you thought and what you did, it matches with your values. So there is no disturbance.
Yeah. So if you are decisive and if your decision is aligned with your values or aligned with your purpose, that itself gives a sense of a good feel-good factor, right? Emotional well-being. Any other way? Santosh, let us know when you are ready. Any other way decision making improves emotional well-being?
Sometimes, whenever I am taking a decision, I feel this is the right decision only at the moment where I am taking. Because if I feel right only, I am taking the decisions. But in due course, maybe after 10 days or 15 days or 6 months, I may come to know some relationship is not working out with me or somebody is not talking to me. Then I rethinking why it has happened means this is because of that decision. Then only I realize that was the bad decision. So once I have patchwork the relationship or whatever in the financial this thing or in official these things, then everything goes right means I am mentally there is no guilt conscience, there is no regret, and I'm mentally very good because I patch up everything. Whatever goes wrong, I make it right. So this way, I feel this create a mentally well-being attitude or status within me. That's what I feel. Many decisions I like this because after class sessions, I daily this was the bad decisions. That was the bad decisions. Every day I'm going through, but of course I'm doing the repair work also then and there. That's what's happening.
So something which was bad, which is things are not going, you take a decision, you are decisive, and then things gets better, right?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, and that improves emotional well-being.
Yes.
Anybody else would like to add a point? How decision making improves emotional well-being?
I can add because I've written that because in our life sometimes we do something like day-to-day life. Sometimes some decisions may bring us peace. Basically, I have took some decisions only for the emotional well-being. So I was just juggling for certain things, overthinking. I was totally into a different phase of my life, but some decisions which I've made in my life, I think that actually helped me in my emotional well-being now. Like I'm in peace kind of thing, and like I'm more affectionate. So because of some decisions, I got into this kind of emotional well-being. So I think in that way, I've given that sentence. I didn't explain it out of time constraint, but yeah. So for me, some decisions made me to get into this emotional well-being.
Yeah, come out of overthinking and it improves your emotional well-being.
Yes, sir.
Because you took certain decisions.
Yeah, I would say like in my experiences, by having the right mindset, we can make a good emotional well-being.
Yeah.
Because when I turn back, like the mindset, when I don't have sometimes in some situations the right mindset.
Yeah. Thank you all for sharing and a small little brainstorm. And we are not able to see Santosh, Salma's presentation.
Salma is trying to share share her thing.
No, I don't understand. I'm not getting it. Shall I go?
No, can you share the
Shall I
PPT
go with
with
the?
me? Or you want to go with
No, actually, yeah, I'll go with that PPT then. Will
Yeah.
it be all right? Yeah.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes. Okay, shall I start with my presentation? Yeah. So it's first of all, very good evening. And today's my topic is going to be in decision making, which I have not decided in my lifetime, I believe. And what is decision making according to me is a choice, a selection, a choosing in many alternatives according to our personality and the values, etc. And why it is important? Yeah, it is a fact. It is for the mental well-being. And as per the research, we all know, as Manoj sir said, decision making 33 for each day we make 33 decisions. And yes, of course, consciously and unconsciously, we may not know with it. And from morning we wake up, only when we have our desires, goals, the values, how to live, purpose of life makes a good decision maker. And I have selected 3 bad decisions which caused my mental well-being. And now today let me start with the story of a little part of nature versus nurture. Yes, everybody knows like nature is something, our brain has some systems where it works, like for the decisions, for the memory, and many other. And nurture. This is the part where I would like to start with my bad decision, reason for my bad decisions. In the nurturing part, I have witnessed a girl. That is, I'm speaking in a third perspective, that is meta perspective. Here I could share a story, a girl who born with lot of confidence and many things went well in her life. And she was happy with her family and she belongs to a joint family. And there it comes to a place that girl happened to meet with the belief, with unhealthy belief, that is the religious belief. As a Muslim, that girl was like with a stereotype, a girl should not go outside, she can't do any education, and she can't go out, she's a dependent, only her father and brothers could manage. But she was a girl that was not working for her. But still, she was confident. She was roaming outside as a little girl. As the days passed on, she met with an accident. That accident was a bad touch. The bad touch made her feel as she's a little girl, but she escaped somehow and she ran away from there. That made that unhealthy belief to be true. That is okay. Girls should not go out because of these reasons. Something wrong happens. So, in that belief, She grew up slowly and she stopped going outside. And she had a belief that men are men, we can't be a safer, and many things went in her part, like the confusion in her mind. And she was not that studious also. Until I know her, she was very studious, very confident. She was going out to buy groceries and all. When the day happened to meet with that event, she stopped going outside and she couldn't say that to anyone. She was very much confused. And slowly she saved her life, but she didn't went through a harassment. That is a God's blessing. Then it went through the puberty phase, wherein this unhealthy belief got very much stronger, because now it's a stage that girl cannot go out. But thank God she went for schooling and all, but only schooling. And she grown up with the thoughts like girls should not go in the streets, she should come with in the roadside, that and all. And it made that girl a very strong unhealthy belief, which made her to depend on her father and her brothers. So she was like just stuck. She don't know what to do. She had many ideas, she had many goals, but she was on a conflict whether she should go ahead or she should be afraiding with that bad touch. She was moving on. And then she fixed up her mind. Now, the second reason for the bad decisions I made. She was very much into the running, the sports and all, volleyball and many things. And as she was in a fixed mindset that, okay, she don't know what is unhealthy belief, that belief she had in her mind, and what is the desires and the conflicts she's going towards her life, and the unhealthy beliefs and the fixed mindset of mine. It stuck onto me. There were many competitions. I thought, okay, if it is a competition, she should go out. And many things happened. So she didn't face any challenges in her life. She was just stuck in she was in a fixed mindset. She was depending. She had an unhealthy belief. Then slowly, as she grown up, she thought she had some other dreams. Like she remembered in her life, she had a dream of public speaking. And she will always get a dream that she's speaking in front of many of them. Maybe that was a need, a desire. But these conflicts and dependency, she was still confused with the cognitive overload. The brain can't take it so many things, right? She can't, and she didn't had the awareness of it. Consciously, she was not aware of the present moment, what it's happening, what she wants. Nothing was going in her mind, and life just went. And she got married. Again, there the conflict was she was happy. She wanted to do some job or something like that, as it is a Muslim family, and her husband doesn't wanted her to do any job, any kind of job. Then the situations, the universe changed her life, and it gave somewhere the situations changed. She went for a job. There she was not happy. Then she felt, okay, what she feels happy, she has to do that. Then she did. Slowly she got some higher education. She did there. Then comes for somewhat of awareness, what is life, the purpose of life. She got somewhat of awareness. These were the three bad decision makings, and from these how she can improve. Now I'm speaking about first perspective. That was the matter, because I don't want her to be emotional. And now I learn many things from my bad decisions. Actually, I was not aware till now what I have decided from my own. I was depending on my father, I was depending on my husband, I was depending on my brothers, just dependence. And I didn't took the responsibility of my feelings, my career, my desires, and that is okay. From this course, I have learned from from Manoj sir. We have to learn from the experiences. I have learned better things about my values. Now, what is my core values? So, my improvements are depending on myself and taking the responsibility of my health, my fitness, my desires, my goals, my purpose of life, my mental well being. And the second thing is nurturing my brain. I'm working harder and harder, focusing on my body to get energy in the brain and to get full of oxygen. Now I'm trying to live in the present moment, what I want, what I should do, and I'm taking the responsibility of my well-being, what I should do, what I should not do from morning, how much decisions I should do till where I see myself. And the conclusion is I have took all the bad decisions. Now I'm moving towards my future by taking and by learning all from my past experiences. Thank you for the cooperation.
Yeah. You spoke from the heart. Very, very inspiring. Very inspiring, and thanks for sharing your life. And thank you so much. And very, very inspiring. Yeah, that's the journey.
Thank you, sir.
That's the journey of life, and that's a self-discovery. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought, okay, let me be the third perspective so I can remove my vulnerabilities and I could move forward.
Yeah. So not having that confidence within, depending based on certain beliefs that got because of certain experiences, and then finally gaining that confidence, core values, nurturing your own brain, focusing on what you want. Yeah, very inspiring.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. And yeah, let's speak up, please.
Yeah, thank you, Salma, for that inspiring sharing. And we have Anish. Are you ready? Please go ahead. All yours.
Sorry, I have this habit of having early dinner. That's why I had to, ask my time. I thought we'll finish. Anyways, apologies for that. I'll share my screen. Okay. So here we are. Good evening, all. Good evening, Manoj. And today I'm here to talk about decision making and how it affects our life progressively, practically. So before I begin, I just want to ask you all that what do you mean by wisdom? Anyone? What do you mean by wisdom?
You learn something which comes from your experience. You get some knowledge.
Okay. So wisdom is learning. That's great. What else? Just quickly, maybe 30 seconds, anyone can.
Deep insights about the subject.
Come again, deep?
Deep insight about the subject.
Okay.
Mr.
So can we say that it's a quality of having experience, judgment about what you do in life? Yeah, that's how I would put wisdom as, when you have the right judgments and, the quality of your experience enhances. And
when we have a bad decision, what we need to forget, we have to forget. What we have to take away from that, what we are taking out from that experience, that is called wisdom.
yeah, that's excellent. So that's why my next question that I was coming to is how do you gain wisdom as such, through experiences, and how do you add on to your experience in life? How do you collect, how do you collect the learning from the experiences? Through what?
Through reflection,
By
I'm
your
coming to that.
choices.
Reflection.
That's great. Someone was
Reflection,
trying to say something.
introspection, awareness.
Excellent. So what I personally believe is, I think, we get experiences in life, or the learning happens only through taking bad decisions. And so when we categorize decision making, before I delve into it, into good and bad, we must also realize that it's not wrong. We shouldn't emotionally attach a guilt or negative emotions when we take bad decisions, because the only reason is that a bad decision will only add to experience, and experiences add to wisdom. So ultimately, it is contributing to our life, and it's okay to take bad decisions, because that is what we are coming to. Um, so I'm going to quickly jump into why is decision making important, the reasons why we take bad decisions, and how could we improve our whole decision making process. I'm going to flash a next image on the screen, and if you could just decode that image, it's a very famous quote actually. Uh, I had to put the author's name on top, but can you decode this image? What does it mean? And I've just put a small portion of the code, but if someone can decode it for me. It's 20 more seconds. I know time is limited.
Is it choosing as free will?
You're quite close actually, but I'll come to what the real thing is. You're very close actually, Usha ji,
Not
and
not carrying excess baggage.
not carrying excess baggage. Okay. So the code goes this way, is that your past is your destiny and your future is your free will. So in simple words, uh, take for example, your height may be your destiny, because you don't grow after a particular age, maybe after 20 or 21. But and so accept that as destiny. But your weight, even if your weight increases and you want to reduce it at whatever age you can, it is possible. Now, how does that change? Is only by taking a decision to do that. Yeah, if you want to reduce your weight, you can only do it by taking a decision, maybe joining the gym, exercising, doing yoga, controlling your diet. Yeah, so your past is your destiny, but your future is your free will, which is in your hands and which can only happen through decision making. Yeah, so roughly we take around typically, 2000 decisions, every hour that we are awake, starting from brushing your teeth, choosing what to wear, choosing what to eat. Simple thing like whether you want to tell something to someone, whether you want to express your emotions to someone is also a decision. We enrolling for this course is a very big decision, and I'm sure most of us thought through it, and some of us did not think through it. The fact that we want to give this presentation is also a decision, Many are programmed, many of them are not programmed, So the next thing I want to ask you is, think of a decision that you've taken in the last 30 days, not very long ago, just last 30 days, within a month. In fact, 30 days back, we came on this program. It was October 17th, I believe. Today we're on 27th. Just think of a decision that you've taken in the last 30 days, whether good or bad. Let's not categorize whether good or bad. Yeah. And just attach the emotion that is attached to it. Just think of the emotion attached to it. It may be a good feeling or it may be a bad feeling. Now, as I mentioned at the start of the presentation, that a bad decision brings experiences. So there's no harm in that. But a good decision also brings in good emotions. And that's why it's important to take good decisions. Yeah. So the other way around is the reasons why we take bad decisions are multiple. Actually, we take some impulsive decisions because of emotions, because of our biases, incorrect beliefs. We have a particular set stigma in our mind because of which we take a wrong decision. Or many times multitasking. Yes, we take a decision. It says that a multitasking can reduce your decision making ability to about 40%. So that contributes to a bad decision making process. We also have poor impulse control. We don't think we are motivated by impulses. We also indulge in so many non-programmed decisions through the day that we all get tired. So when the real situation arises before us to take a good decision or to take a decision where we need to think, we are already tired. That's called decision fatigue. So that also contributes to bad decision making. Also a lot of distractions. Nowadays we have social media, we have so many things that distract us socially. We are connected so much, so when we take a decision, it doesn't really contribute to a good decision because we are so distracted. Suppose you may take a decision on the phone and you're doing something else, and you're distracted. So that contributes to a bad decision. Subconscious processing also contributes to a bad decision factor. All right. So how can we fix this? According to me, to take a good decision that makes you feel good, or rather brings up a good emotion, a good positive emotion, I've just jotted down two things. The first one is conceptual. There are different styles of decision making, and I feel that a conceptual decision maker could be a good decision maker because he thinks of the future consequence. He thinks of the innovation, he thinks of collaboration, he thinks of teamwork. And what I've realized is many of the decisions that I've taken in life, if they were to be made good, they could only happen if I had, collaboratively involved everyone around me, may it be family, friends, mentors, or any other good, like fatherly figure, anyone who I look up to. The second way that you can improve your decision making is having a multiple perspective. As we just seen through this training, there are three positions to a decision making. The first is your perspective. The second is the other person's perspective, and this is a third perspective, which is you're disconnected, and you see it as an all-round picture, and that can contribute. So you don't have to be rushing through your decision. Think of this angle and think of the long-term picture, and you will definitely could perhaps take a good decision. So in conclusion, I would like to quote author Kathleen Kennedy, that when you make the right decision, it doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Anish. Very insightful, excellent style of presentation. Also, you are interactive with the audience. Okay, so that's something that I'm going to emphasize in our next time management presentation, which will probably come in January. Yeah, so it was interactive. And I think the very first one, I really liked. The past is destiny and future is free will. It's okay to take bad decisions. Yeah, and emotion, biases, incorrect belief, multitasking, and series of poor impulse control, decision fatigue, distraction, subconscious processing. Yeah, very nice style of presentation. I liked your voice. Excellent, Anish.
I have a little cold also, so yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Manoj, for those kind words. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
And I think we have discussed what is conceptual decision making, and I think all of you know that in the earlier sessions. Yeah. So thank you, Anish.
Thank you, Anish, for the wonderful presentation. Nagigaru, is it okay? Rahul Srivatsav presents before you. Today is an impromptu, requests are coming in.
Okay.
He's got some power fluctuation. Just now the power has come in.
Yeah,
He
that's
can
it.
go ahead. No, no problem. In fact, I had twice my laptop crashed. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll just, yeah, thanks, Santosh. I'll just quickly pull up my presentation. Yeah, I'm just checking whether it's visible. Yeah,
It's visible. It's visible.
yeah, it's visible. So I'll just quickly jump into. So decision making, it's a pathway to power, as Tony Robbins also says that it is in your moments of decision that your
I
destiny is
think you have to
shaped.
restart the clock, please.
Yeah.
Can you go into
So
the slide presenter view?
Timer.
I'll just stop and then start doing it first of all. Yeah.
Okay, I'll restart the time.
Just hold on, please.
Or do you want me to present, Rahul?
So if I do slideshow, I can't see that share screen. That's what the challenge is. Yeah.
I will then share this.
Add screen in the sense?
For the next
slide prompt.
Oh, next slide prompt. Okay. Yeah, if you don't want to go into slide presentation, it's fine.
Yeah, because I'm not able to. Anyways, I'll just quickly pull up. Yeah, is it okay now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this is much better. Yeah. Fair enough. So the decision making it's a power. So as Tony Robbins says, it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. Really, we have this power of decision making, which is only with humans, and we are definitely a product of the decisions which we have made so far in our life, and whatever decisions which we'll make in the future will shape our destiny for sure. So this is not moving. Yeah. Okay. So decision making, we have a very beautiful definition which I could see was from Kurt Lewin. It's a change-oriented process where the forces which are driving change and forces which are resisting, they interact. And ultimately, they all guide the selection of the path which is there forward. And decision per se, the meaning is like you cut from so what it also says is that it gives me an idea of there's an element of why and the object there. It has an element of clarity. So when we take decision, it becomes very important that it has a clarity in as to why, which is associated with the definition of decision, the meaning of decision. There are decision influences which I had in my life and which I see general in people around me. There are certain decision influences starting with, when we start our life, we are surrounded by parents. I mean, parents are there where first we get influence. And there are certain decisions which are very important, like your selection of college, career, marriage, all these things they play a very important role uh, to a great extent. Your environment over a period of time, your organization you work with, there are certain decisions which are shaped by it. There are societal pressures, as you know, societal pressure or an influence of society on you, which actually influences you to make certain decisions. So, say, for example, as we know that I always had this pressure of owning a certain asset, whether it be a movable or immovable asset. You want to take it on EMI or not. So that influences whether it is affordable right now, but I have to take a decision. There's an expectation from society. That is how we see, the whole system. The belief systems do influence us, uh, whether it is investment, whether you think that you can get return on investment, how much belief you have on yourself. A small element, a small example of what you believe in. I remember when I was in college, when I passed my school, I had to take admission in college, and I had a certain percentage of marks, and I was not sure whether I'd get a good college. and I was made to think of other options also. But I believed in myself that if I'm going to get admission, will be from the same college, and I had a strong will and belief in myself, which resulted in getting us admission at the best college in my town. So all these belief systems actually shaped up. It influenced my decision successfully. In this example, a sense of purpose, of course, shapes your path, what you're looking as, what direction you choose in life, why you choose in life, is all that. Emotions, if you see, we all see that emotions play a major role in what state of mind you take the decisions. Fear is the biggest driver, which I had. Few of the decisions which I had taken in past was some impulsive behavior, fear of failure, fear of not taking a decision, just because I never ventured into, and losing on some important opportunities that way. What values you attach to a career, health, wealth, relationship, all these important aspects in everybody's life. So how much value you attach to your relationship, decides the path you will follow, decides what kind of relationship you will come up with, whether you will get spiritual, what do you think about it. So you have all these things. We also get influenced by the biased approach we have, whether it be your ego, you have biasness towards people, the systems. As you know, there are certain in organizations I've seen that people don't want to change because this is how they have been doing and they want to do it that way only, and which influences the quality of decisions which they take. Yeah. So this is how we have been doing, and all these things do affect the decisions one takes, and it has a major impact on the results. What I observed was in my the experience so far is this is the capability buildup of the decision. Decision capability buildup. This is how I'll put it. That there's, as I said, there's a high influence of parents, friends, relatives. Initially in certain aspects, but as you age, as you grow, and as you take experience, you discover yourself. You start learning from the environment. You're learning from the mistakes you have done, and you start taking better decisions. You get matured over a period of time. You have your own value system. You have your own experience to judge from, to learn from, and you start taking better decisions in life. Okay. And you reach to a stage wherein uh, you become a master in taking decisions. The quality of decisions you take, with the resource you have, resourcefulness. You are more resourceful in comparison to what you were when you started your life or started your career, in that sense. So as you age, as you experience, all these decision making capabilities develop, and the quality of decision is much better than what you were taking earlier. Yeah. So this decision is significance. It has significance from a viewpoint of when it comes to individual, any organization. It can be a country also, the political system we have. So it becomes very important who is a decision maker and how the decision is being made, because it impacts the change, at all levels. At all levels, it impacts the growth of the country, growth of the individual, the any organization, how the decision is being made. If you don't take decisions or not a right decision, the opportunity, it impacts holistically, as we discussed. Uh, Technology, I have one example which I'll talk about in the subsequent slide. If you have lack of vision, a fear of change, all these things are very, very important for you to take a decision so that all these entities mentioned here grow and, for their betterment. Uh, so I was scanning through, I was researching, I got to know that, there's a decision paralysis in India, and 69% people struggle to plan for the future. I mean, this is something which is very shocking. 42% of individuals surveyed are uncomfortable with making decisions. They just put off and they don't take decisions. If you recall the best example, like can I could get was the Kodak. It had technology. It is one of the first few companies who's one of his employees, Steve Sasson. In 1975, he came up with a digital camera, and he developed a prototype which was ignored by the Kodak itself. And so they failed to actually spot disruptive technology potential. And while the competitor Fujifilms was able to actually develop a business model around that. I remember Kodak actually declared bankruptcy around 2012, 2013, something, while they could have made a lot out of the decision of actually investing in the new technology in the business. This is on the better decision making, which you can have if we align our conscious and subconscious goals. If there is misalignment, if the alignment is not there, then the congruence will not be there, and hence the decision making ability will not be there. We have to think intuitively. We have to use our intellect. There's a lot of analysis, data, involvement of. So I have used the word here, mastermind. You need people to actually support you with. You need your own experience, data, your conscious awareness, not clouded by the emotions, not clouded by any kind of biasness. And there has to be a balance. This is what I feel is the conclusion. It is like having a balanced diet when you take a decision, which consists of, in order to flex your decision making muscles, you need to have a balanced diet which consists of all these, which is mentioned here. Your past success stories, which talks about your experience, your value system, the data which is relevant and accurate and not opinion based. A balance of conscious and subconscious, and your people, optimum use of material and people resources, the why, the creative vision, and a futuristic view of the implication of what decision you are making and how will it impact your future in a detached way and not clouded by any kind of emotions or biasness, and use your intellect. So that's what is decision making. I thought I would share the points with the audience. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Lots of wonderful points. Anyone would like to share a point that stood out for you? He started with decision influences, parents, social pressure, etc. Right. The whole process of going all the way to maturity, especially the data, the 67% of the people struggle to plan for the future. That was news to me. And yeah, and 42% are so uncomfortable that they just put off decisions.
Absolutely.
So not being decisive and just putting off decisions. So anyone would like to share a point that stood out for you?
So balancing emotional awareness with reality. That was like a really important one that he brought out. Like many times we don't realize. We feel we're just going with the flow, but we don't even realize that we are making certain decisions that is not taking us forward. Yeah. Thanks, Rahul.
Thank you.
One thing I appreciate is that
sorry.
influence stages. That slide is very informative. Very nicely it has been covered. Totally, it is a very informative presentation. Thank you, Rahul.
Thank you so much.
That 42% of people just put off taking decisions and accept the results.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is
With
true.
your every decision, you evolve, no matter it is wrong or right.
Especially from an NLP perspective, there was this one point: align your conscious and subconscious goals. And so think of tomorrow and what picture comes to you first, right? And is it aligned with what your conscious mind wants?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what does my subconscious wants me to do tomorrow, and what do my conscious mind wants me to do tomorrow? Is it aligned? So sometimes the conscious mind has a different goal, subconscious mind has a different goal, right? And NLP is all about bringing them together. So something deep within you also wants the same thing that your intellect wants. Yeah. So that alignment is where the congruence comes in, and a congruent person is unstoppable. Yeah, there's no conflict within, so he moves like with lightning speed. Incongruent person has conflict within, is split within, and so does not have that power to move forward. Yeah, accurate, relevant data, past success story, creative vision, a lot of wonderful points. Very informative, Rahul.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. And are we ready? The next speaker?
Yeah, our Reddy is our Reddy Garu, Nagi Garu. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What about Srinivas' presentation?
Dr. Srinivas is unable to do today.
No, I'm not able to do today.
Okay, so should I say stand up at the bench? You're not.
I can.
My screen seen?
No, sir, not yet.
Santosh, my screen seen?
Not yet, not
No,
yet.
no, not yet seen, sir. Would you like to share your PPT to me, sir?
I would like to.
Huh.
Yeah.
Started sharing, but yet to see. Huh. It's seen, Nagigaru, it's seen.
That's right? Okay. Good day, everybody. For the sake of 7 minutes, I could have asked if it was a longer time for some of your answers, but anyway, I'll apply little of the Vande Bharat now. We have to go a bit faster. You see a tree, not knowing what it's for. I don't know whether it can think or not, but it's doing so much of great things to the world around. The shoots, the trees, the leaves, the branches, the fruits, whatever it gives to the world, but it works tremendously at the roots. What goes at the root, it decides the quality of the fruit. So, ladies and gentlemen, we move from there. You see something here. Where is the cutting edge? Am I audible? Oh,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not audible.
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Usha ma'am, where is the cutting edge? Next comes Bhaskaran sir, where is the cutting edge?
From the what I'm seeing, the bottom may be the cutting edge, and the top also we can use to cut anything.
Wonderful. Thank you. And rest, maybe we can carry on for next 10 minutes. It would like to answer. That's fine. This cutting edge, the sword has on both sides, and also on the sides which you can't see. It has a power. The power either to wake up someone from slumber or to put somebody into deep slumber forever. And that cutting edge is your decision making. It's everything in your mind. And this is one part of the branch. We'll connect all these loose ends to the trunk later on. What propels excellence? Your passion, right? And what drives energy? It's your intention. Without these two, I don't think we can think about what's quality of decisions we're making. We'll connect this another branch. And this will address all these. The why decision making is an important phenomenon, reasons for bad decision making, ways to improve the decision making. From these are the shoots, we'll go to the roots and check. This is all we are about, right? And there's something else which is beyond us. That is the environment which has a hazard like causing tendencies. Do we fail because of hazard? No way. There is something that will make us fail or tide over the hazards. It's our own vulnerability. And how do you make yourself free from vulnerable? We'll look into that. If you let the vulnerability cascade into yourself completely, overlap, and the hazards coming, and you without the vulnerableness there, nothing. Hazard can't do anything. But the moment you have that vulnerability within you, you are prone to risk. You can still come out of this, but there are people who fail from the vulnerability because they can never resurrect it up and they never rise up. The game of life is not, if you fall down, it's okay. The moment we refuse to rise, that is the downfall. Then let us see from where this vulnerability comes. Let's see the mind process. This is what we ultimately, let us begin with the end in mind. What we say is, yes, the destiny of life. What is prequel to that? It's your character. And what's a prequel to that is an attitude. And what builds up the attitude is your habits, and the habits come from actions, and repeated actions, and which comes out from the words, the diction. And that comes from your desire. And the desire are from your thoughts. Around 70,000 thoughts a day. And these are the ones which are either making or marring our lives. How best we can have the thoughts? Can you engineer the thoughts? Of course. And how do you do that? It is a value propositions what to nurture. And as you have this, at the foot of this ladder, there's only one step, thoughts. If you can handle that perfectly, the entire march is going to be a bed of roses. You will be creator of your own destiny and will explore the mind. You can become great. And no one is just born great. They work, people who worked. Those who manage the thoughts and their design of the thought, those are the ones who take decisions, and you call them, they take a decision and then do it right. Not everybody can do that. The one who mastered their thoughts are the only ones that get it. So thoughts, how will you nurture your thoughts is the key. The quality of your thoughts determine the quality of your life. The whole gamut. So it is your thoughts and the decisions is not just for you. It is for whole commune. The community, the nation, the culture, they all depend on the quality of the people, and your individual quality of decisions, do matter to the world. You can see some of them. Arunima Sinha. She is a female amputee, lost her legs due to accident. I'm not going to details, but she didn't give up. She climbed up all the tall peaks in the world. And you see some other person, these are all the peaks which she climbed up. And this lady is another lady from Mysore, a wife of a constable and household worker. She rose up to the ranks of commissioner Mumbai, and she is Ambika. Married at 12, 2 children at 18, and did not stop Ambika from becoming IPS officer. What is that they cried about? Their adversities are not just didn't stop them. When they can do that, what stops us to go ahead? Let us see some other person, Sonali Sinha, a daughter of, you can see the cow shed and the daughter of the milkman, and that's how she lived her life. She is a judicial judge in Ludhiana now. Tremendous gut power, willpower, the choices they make, the sacrifices they do, and they know it. There's no compromise. They never weep about the condition or the lack of certain resources, but they rose up. Okay, why only women? The men also have something to say. I have. Here you find a ship, a warship, Lexington. And that's a deck where history has been created. And that is USS Lexington. This is where a fighter, way back in World War II, fought, a single person fought against 9 bombers, and he saved America. You know what America did to him? The entire Chicago airport is named after him, called O'Hare Airport. This is where each one of them, though they have the tools, which we have to also have, the sharp ones. And we need to carve out for ourselves, not only ourselves, in others as well. And what are the tools? The vision, the values, code of honor. And these are the roots. Nothing else but these. The quality of values also, the hierarchy of values also decide. The lower the hierarchy of the values, it is that extent you reach. But there are hierarchy of values you can scale up. This is what you keep saying. Is my version today better than yesterday? We work on our values and we nurture up, going upward values, and then you be that kind of a person who's delivering to the society. So let me rush through. These can be some of the values. Are we teaching them to our children, to the schools, to the colleges, to whatnot? And there are, if you Google, get thousands of them. Nurture 5 of them. If they get into, if your life is demonstrating, if it's manifesting these values, that's fine. It's not just I take up from the book and say, okay, I'm saying I'm good, I appreciate this value. Not that. Your 21 days of your journaling will tell you what's the value of life you're living. And you can also say, where will I go with these sets of values? If doesn't, get certain things and start practicing on that. Practice, demonstrating them. Character, system, culture. When all this is there, you will be the part of universe, and universe will be the part of you. There are techniques like PDCA, there are techniques of many other things, Fishbone, Ishikawa, these are things which make you help progress into the decision making faster as well. The tools can come later, but let us see how do we position ourselves. What will your tomorrow look like? Instead of that, ask, what do I have to tackle today to make that tomorrow? It is just here and now that matters, nothing else. Unless you make these commitments, there will be only promises and hopes, but no plans. Ladies and gentlemen, practice and practice and practice. And you never be tired of training. You know why? When you train hard, the more you train, the less you will bleed in war. This is, you should not be shy of being trained or training. You'll bleed less in the war, bleed less in the war. You will, with that kind of a mindset, you will rock, you will be the ace performer. And what your legacy going to be? Yes, you earned all your laurels, and one fine day we call it a day, but you leave something behind, your legacy. And your legacy is how many lives you touched. A journey thus begins, ladies and gentlemen. Self-discovery through decision-making can be a joy-filled experience. Dream life thus is not a distant dream at all. Thank you.
Very inspiring. And Nagiredi has actually been working with, I would say, small towns, villages, and for some of those children from those villages, probably they have never heard an inspirational side of life. They just go through life. And Nagiredi has done a lot of social service. He is really committed, and I can see firsthand how he's inspiring. Yeah, very inspiring. And
thank you, Manoj. Thank you.
And very creative. It's always been creative, and the cutting edge sword, that was a very creative idea. And many other slides that were very creative, right? Wake up to slumber or go to deep slumber, process of mind. Arunima example, the Ambika and this Sonal Sharma, one is an amputate and other is married at 14, 1-4. And Sonal, she was a daughter of a milkman. Very inspiring stories, right? Vision, values, code of honor. I think at the core, he had one slide where values, and I was like, values is the absolute core of decision making, right? Get your values right. And a lot of decision then gets all right. Once I took a decision that I need to respect my family first, right? I need to respect my family irrespective of my emotion. Because if I'm on an emotional roller coaster, if I'm upset, stressed out or something, I can be disrespectful towards my family. And one of the decisions that I take is irrespective of whether I'm stressed or not stressed, whether I am upset or not upset, I am going to be respectful towards my family members, right? Because that's a value. I will not be emotion driven. I'm going to be value driven, right? And to my parents, to my spouse, to my son, to my in-laws, that no matter how bad my mood is, I'm going to speak with respect. I'll never show disrespect. And I think that slide where it was just the values, if you get your values right, a lot of your decision will get all right. You'll come out of your biases, you'll come out of your emotional influences, and a lot of other negative influences you can come out of that, and get your vision right. And the word was nice, code of honor. I think that's your code, yeah. How many lives you have tested? I know you have tested a lot of lives, and my heartfelt wish is that we all go out and touch as many lives as possible, right? Spread the message of inspiration, allow people to become ace performers. Yeah. So thank you. And I think Nagareddy was the last speaker.
No, Manoj. These are quite powerful presentation, especially with Arunima Sinha. I mean, quoted very powerful ladies and values. Thanks a lot. Our last presenter is after 2019. I'm seeing Rahul on the screen.
Okay.
We talk a lot, but I think after a long time, after 5 years, over to Rahul.
Yeah, thank you, Nahi, and thank you, love you, and over to Rahul. Yeah.
Am I audible?
You are audible.
How to share this presentation?
Share. Go to arrow. They're showing a share screen, green color. Click that and click on your presentation slide and share.
First, I need to open the presentation.
Minimize it, then come back to Zoom.
Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so hello everyone and good evening to all of you. My name is Rahul. There are the two Rahuls, so my name is Rahul Kaushik here. So I've been associated with Manoj more than 5-6 years. Okay, so in today's world, whatever you hear, that is a opinion of the other person, and whatever you see, that is a perspective, might be first, second, and third. And there is so much complex situation in current world. So in this complex situations, you might take some decisions, and these decisions might be wrong and right. So from my perspective, I have figured out 3 top reasons why you make the bad decisions. First is the emotional decision making. Means you are making your decisions when you are in emotionally state, but not by the facts. So for example, you are doing the impulsive shopping, or you are taking any decisions when you are in good, sad, or bad mood, whatever is there. So what is the consequences of this one? So first, you will feel good, but later on you will regret on your decisions if suppose it's not following well. And then how we can improve, then we'll discuss. So this is the first reasons. And second reason is lack of the information and knowledge, or might be we can say right source of the information. So means if suppose you are taking any decisions and you don't have the information about that one, you might take the bad decision. Example is that if suppose you want to start any new business, but you don't have any knowledge about that one, so mostly you will go in a bad decision, you will go in a loss. So this is the second decisions, and you might go in a monetary loss mainly, and then you might go in a relationship loss also. And then third one is the fear of the failure and overthinking. So paralysis by analysis. This is something comes usually. So if suppose you have the fear of the failure, you will not act and you will keep thinking, and one time at all you will not act and you will not take any decisions. So again, you will keep postponing the things. That is the impact of that one, and then you will not take any decision whether it is a right wrong, so you will be in halted state, you will be in neutral position. So these are the top three reasons from my perspective, but there might be another reasons. And now I would like to go how to take the winning decisions that make you happy. So I would like to share my one of the incident. In past, I was working for one company before 5 6 year, and I was based in Chennai, and I was working as a technical manager there, and then I need to manage the multiple sites there, and I have the many work resources there. So usually what happens, I have the labs to repair or to diagnose the very sophisticated instruments within the company, and my sitting position was a different one. So usually what happens, my office mate was there. So once we are not there, so she goes there and she tries to clean the floor. So one time she was doing, and she find out some nuts and bolts spreading there, and she informed me, okay, sir, when I cleaned the floor, I found that. Then at that time I ignored this one. And then after 10 15 days, again, she went for the flooring. And then this time she found the 3 4 nuts there. And then I also ignored there. And after 1 month, there was a some operation within the Chennai itself, and then one guy took the machine from the office, and then they used in a Chennai port, and then again they put these back to the in office, and then some damage was there. Then again she that maid went to the office, and now she found something broken, and she informed me. Then she said, why you are not taking any decisions there? Then I said, no, it's not a right time, I will take later on. Okay, because in future after 15 days my three sites needs to be started. So one, I have the equipment reserved in my office. Two, I have given needs to import from the outside, to start the three sites in parallel. I was thinking, once budget is allocated to me, I will give the expenditure from the budget, not from the office. That was my take. But what happened then, we need to start the three sites in parallel. Okay, CEO has requested me, we need to go in a parallel way. And now I was able to start the two ones, because two equipments was new one, and this one broken one, I was not able to start the things because it needs to be repaired. And then I send it to the technician and it get repaired. And after 1 week, I was able to start the third one. So from this one, I would like to say there was some mistakes there, and how we can be better there. Uh, in order to take these decisions, I might have some perspective, but I might not be have a holistic view about my decision making. After going through number of the classes with the Manoj, okay, I realized my mistake, and then how we can make it better, or how would I take a better decision. So this is the thing. So there are the some core values within you, and then you have the four fundamental things. One, you should have the self-awareness about your biases, about your egos, emotions, either thing. And then you should have a data and facts on the place there. And then once you have these things, then you need to have the power of choice. You should not have any one target there. You should keep the multiple goals or multiple things. If suppose multiple plans, if suppose one is not working, then you can go for the another one. And then once you have these things, then you need to go for the feedback and reflection. Feedback might come from the others and reflection might come from you personally there. And once these visions and goals are on the place there, then is if everything is there, then you can take the big decisions, and then you can recognize your emotional triggers. That is more toward the self-awareness sides, and data side is there. Keep the right figures, do the analysis, and seek the advice from the expert. If suppose you don't have the expertise within the same matter, and then you should have the multiple goals but towards the same vision and core goals, so that one is not working, then ultimately you can achieve your highest goal by approaching the different way. And then you can keep reflecting on your decisions, and then if suppose anything bad is there, you can embrace that one. If suppose anything good is there, you can appreciate that one, and you can keep tuning yourself to make you right until unless it is there. Sometimes what happens, although you are the winner, but you are not satisfied with your result and outcome. Why? Because your core values are not aligning with the outcomes there. In order to get the 100% satisfaction, your core values should align with your work values there. So at the last, I would like to say your life is a value chain of the decisions. So be grounded and informed decision maker, and that will lead to your happy life. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And the last two slides, I think, captures everything, right? The diagram with core values and self-awareness, data and fact, feedback and reflection, and power of choice. Yeah. Recognizing emotional triggers, taking a break before making that. I think that second last slide captures everything nicely. And to be grounded, be informed. Yeah. I hope some of it, many of, thank you, Rahul, and wonderful presentation. And thank you to all for making the presentation. And some of it we have learned at the conscious level. Maybe we have even taken notes that this is my learning, but your subconscious was also listening. And I'm sure it has also picked up a lot of learnings. And knowingly, unknowingly, whether we take conscious decisions or our subconscious probably could have already taken a decision, I think we will be a little more aware in decision making, and we will be better in decision making. That's the power when we listen to multiple speakers, right? It has some kind of an impact that happens. And it's like one person appreciates, but then if multiple people appreciate us, it kind of creates some kind of a deeper change. When we listen to multiple speakers in the same direction, there is some impact that is left the subconscious level.
I would say it is a dance of synergy.
It's a dance of synergy, and a lot of points they will kind of integrate within, even if you don't make a conscious effort, right? We will value decision making a little more than before we listen to everyone, right? So thank you to all the speakers for contributing. This was the final day, and compared to last year, am I a better human being? Compared to last year, am I a better decision maker? Compared to last year, am I more talented? Right? Like Madhavi said, learning, unlearning, learning, evolving, growing, and continuously improving ourselves, and keep launching ourselves as a little better version of ourselves every year. Yeah. So thank you to all speakers. We have, yeah, Santosh.
Thank you. For me, especially, it was personal learning for my own growth. I think I'm off the screen, and I learn a lot when interaction happens, when you present. I also wonder, like, how can so nicely, like, no, I mean, to the core, you people present, and I'm like that either Bhima or Ekalavyano, learning from all of you, and each one of you, not only Manoj, each one of you are my gurus. Especially the questions when it shoots out, I'm the one I think who benefits a lot, and that goes into my subconscious. I mean, it perpetrates when when I'm listening, when hearing, learning. Whenever I have anyone have questions later during the marketing days, no, all that automatically pops up. Like I'm able to answer I mean, people who have questions, who would like to join, all that I owe it to Manoj's learning, plus the learnings that I take from you all. And thank you all for a great, inspiring, wonderful, awesome, fantastic, fabulous presentation. Thank you all. Thank you, Manoj.
Thank you.
This brings us towards the end of this series of presentation on decision making.
Thank you.